Hey guys, my name's Caleb Foxworth. I want to welcome you to our online Beachbody Challenge. This is the first year we're going to be offering an option to do this online. We will still offer a spring and fall Beachbody Challenge in the gym in each of our locations as we normally do. But this year we wanted to add an online version in the first part of the year and also in the summer. So be looking for that. We will have 4 opportunities for the Beachbody Challenge this year. And so what my job is today is just to give you guys a brief run through, since we won't be doing a meeting in person. This will be just a brief run through of your manual that you're going to get. If you're online right now on this link, right below this link, you're going to see a PDF that you can download. This is your manual. So in the past, we've given you guys a manual at the meeting. This is something you're going to be able to print off on your own. So if you haven't done that yet, I would go ahead and do that right now. You guys can hit pause on the video, print that off, have it with you. There's a part of this that you are going to want to, that you'll need to with our scorecard will be a manual scorekeeping format that we typically have done online. So you want to have that printed off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through the manual, print it off if you haven't, and then follow along with me as we go. This is our 5th year doing the Beachbody Challenge. We've seen remarkable results. Last year we did 2 challenges. We had over 130 people complete the challenge, and we saw over 5 pounds of body fat lost while adding muscle on average across all 130 participants, which is just phenomenal in a 6-week challenge. And so that's what this is going to be. 6 weeks. We will start. Obviously, you guys will have this in front of you, but we're going to start on January 17th. So if you're watching this before, this will not start until that Monday. So we're going to go through this. Same thing as we did last year. There will be a couple differences though, because this is online. So if you go ahead and flip to the first page, Know Your Why, we always start our meetings with clients with our Beachbody Challenge, and even with folks who come to the gym and get started in the gym. We want you to understand that we see a lot of people get started with nutritional changes, trying to be relying on willpower mostly, and what we want to do is help take away the willpower aspect and help you zone in and focus in on exactly what the deepest motivation of why you're even participating. Why are you sitting watching this video? Why are you in the gym sweating and working hard? Why are you making a financial investment in your health? We want you to be able to identify that. And so on this page, we give you an opportunity to write your why. And what we find is that many clients may need to answer that why a couple layers deep. And so you may have more of a surface level answer right away, but if you think about it, there may be something a little bit deeper to why that goal is. And so you may need to find that you need to go down this. Many of our clients go through 3 or 4 layers deep to find their truest why. And what that does is it helps make the challenge and some of these changes that have become habits over the years, it makes it a little bit easier for you to persevere when things get tough or when you have those emotional conflicts with your eating, being able to look back to this. So I would encourage you to manually write this out on this page, Know Your Why, and you guys can read a little bit more about that. The goal for us is to recognize in our nutrition that you have the ability to make any body composition change that you want. Yes, we can't change the shape of our body. We can't lower and raise the height or the length of your arms or your legs, but you do have control over the body composition that you have. There's a lot of reasons why people believe and have been led to believe that there are certain things that they can't change. And we want you to know that we have seen over the years hundreds and hundreds of people take control and make a change, but it may be challenging. And so for us, the goal is to kind of help you recognize that exercise alone is not enough. We would almost estimate about 70% of the results that you're going to see in the change to your body and to your health are going to come from nutrition. So we believe you've made a good investment in participating in this, and we want to help you along the way. Our goal is to know exactly how to achieve the specific body composition goal you choose. Okay, and so with that, we've got that, and then you're going to plug in your specific why that is and why you want to do that, and hopefully you guys are going to experience great success through the challenge. Let's flip to the next page, and let's talk about how to win the challenge. So this is a little bit of a contest this year because we are doing this online. There'll be a couple different changes to how we're going to be able to view this, and then there's one big addition that we have made to the challenge that we're going to make going forward. So let's talk about this. The winner of this challenge is going to be ranked for all 5 categories, or for 4 of our categories, and then there'll be a 5th category that's just a yes or no. So the first one is your daily point total. We're going to talk about why we've chosen to assign points each day and how that can hopefully help make this a very tangible change, and not just a theoretical, healthy change, but something that you can identify as do these 6 steps each day to gauge your success. The second is going to be muscle mass gain. We want you to recognize that there's a lot of misconceptions about losing weight and what that actually means, and we want to only identify weight loss in terms of keeping the muscle we have, if not adding muscle, to identify lean body that is most people's goal. The third thing is going to be body fat loss. So obviously we are going to gauge body fat, and then body fat percentage decrease. The body fat percentage is the correlation between adding muscle, losing body fat. That will create the greatest change in your body fat percentage. The last thing we're going to do is we're going to submit a before and after photo, and I've got some instructions on here, but in order to be considered for winning the challenge, you're going to submit a before and after photo. We'll flip to that. I've given you some examples of what a good before and after photo looks like, and so we'll talk about that here in just a minute. You guys can see on this, we're not going to go through all of them, but you guys can see some of our top performers between our fall and spring challenges last year. Just amazing results. People who over the course of 6 weeks have added pounds of muscle and lost more than 10 pounds of body fat, creating a change in their body fat percentage that ranges even up to 6.5%. So phenomenal results from this. You guys can look at that and see a little bit about what people have done in the past. And then the last thing, we do have 3 winners we're going to identify for this challenge. First place will be $300, second $200, and third place $100. And those will be cash prizes to add a little bit of fun and a little bit of competition to our challenge. Let's go ahead and flip to the next page, how it works. So we've got our daily point total. Your daily point total is going to be scored for 6 total points each day. Monday through Saturday, there will be a point that will be a bonus point for completing the Coyote Fitness workout of the day. And then on Sunday only, there's going to be a bonus point because we don't offer a workout for that day, and we want that to be a rest day from physical activity that is a class workout physical activity. We're going to be adding in a point for going the entire week previously with no alcohol. Okay, so that's just a little bit of the differences. The 5 other things that are going to be the same every day, your quality of food. Okay, we're going to give you a shopping list. We're going to talk about foods to avoid. And what we want to do is we're going to give you a 10% room for error on eating foods that are within our quality control list. Quantity of food. So how much am I eating and how much of my macronutrients? So not only my total calories, 2,000 calories for the day, but also am I within 10% of my goal of 160 grams of protein or 200 grams of carbohydrates? So within 10% of the quantity of food. Then drinking 100 ounces of water. We want you to measure the amount of water that you're drinking every single day. We hear a lot that people feel like they drink enough water, and then as they get into the challenge, they find that they were way under on their estimated water intake for the day. So we want you guys to keep up with your water intake. We're going to talk about why that is in a minute. We're going to count your sleep, and the best way that we can do that is just for us to go on the honor system of you being in bed screen-free for 8 hours and 30 minutes a night. The 5th one is 30 minutes of activity. That activity can be anything where you are up off the couch moving, preferably outdoors, but it's just going to be 30 minutes of activity. That does not have to be a workout in the gym. If you do one of our Coyote Fitness workouts either at home or in the gym, that will be a bonus point. But this 30 minutes of activity can be anything from out playing with your kids or walking the dog, just going for a walk outside. So 30 minutes of activity is the goal, and we want you to measure that as well. So those are 7 categories. There are 6 points per day. Hopefully that'll be explained well here as we go through our scorecard at the end of this video. The Coyote Fitness workouts, I've included some instructions. So whether or not you're in our gym, you're a current member of one of our Coyote Fitness locations, or you're doing this remotely, we want you to have access to the workout of the day. So we're going to have a password set up on the app that we use for our programming. It's called SugarWOD. The password is located here on this. It's Beachbody 2022. So you guys can go on to SugarWOD, input whatever information they ask for, join the Coyote Fitness gym, and then it'll prompt you for a password. That'll give you temporary access so that you guys can do the workouts with us each day and have an opportunity for the bonus point. If you'll flip over to the next page, we're going to talk a little bit more. A lot of the questions we get about how to score the quality of food, what types of food am I eating, and the quantity, how much food am I eating. We're going to walk you through how to set calories up in just a minute. But first, we just want to know, how do we explain the 90%? How do I know if I'm within 10%? This page here is going to give you all the instructions that you need on that. So again, it says part 1 continued, how to score quality and quantity. You guys will be able to walk through that. It's very, very simply put. I think it's going to make it very easy for you guys to keep up with. But in general, what we're doing is we're saying if you have 1,600 calories to eat for the day, that's going to give you 160 calories to eat whatever food you want. We want a sustainable challenge. We want a sustainable approach to nutrition. And so what we have seen is that people, even who have won the challenge in the past, have experienced great success giving themselves 10% room for error to have a couple Oreos or to have a cookie, and not just deprive yourself of some of the foods that you enjoy, but to help you understand exactly how much of that you may be eating, and how you still can reach your goals while only keeping those foods to a 10% window of your total calories. The same for our quantity. How much am I eating? We want to be within 10%. So what that means is if you're eating 2,000 calories for the day, we've got a 200%, that's 10%, you've got a 200 calorie leeway on both sides. So if 2,000 is your goal, you've got 100 above, 100 below, so you can theoretically be between 1,900 and 2,100 calories for you to get your point for food quantity. We also want to be within 10% of your macronutrients. So what we're going to do in just a minute is set up how many calories of protein, how many grams of protein are you going to set as a goal? How many grams of carbs, how many grams of fat do you have as a goal for the day? Not only do we want to eat 2,000 calories and be as close to that every single day through the challenge, but we don't want all those 2,000 calories to come from protein or all of them to come from fat. We want to have that balance so that you can, again, build muscle and see body fat loss, keeping within your calorie goal. So you guys can read a little bit about that. If you'll flip to the next page, why have we chosen these 5 things to set as the main goal that we have? The first, quality of food. High quality foods are essential nutrients, and they tend to be lower calorie while being very filling. So what we found is that, and what a lot of our clients have found, is that when they eat real foods that are nutrient dense, they're able to eat a lot of food while still reaching their goals. When we do quantity of food, it's just helping people understand that weight loss is not this mythological thing that they can't wrap their mind around. We know that weight loss, especially body fat loss, is simply about measuring the amount of calories that you're bringing in. And then what that weight loss is, making sure we're not just losing muscle, is then breaking up the portions of your macronutrients, protein, carbs, fat, and keeping a good balance of those macronutrients while still eating in the calorie deficit that you want to lose weight, or a calorie surplus to gain weight. 100 ounces of water. So what I think most of our clients, the thing that shocks them the most is when they start to drink water, they find that it actually improves their metabolism, their sleep. Workouts will not feel as challenging. They'll find their energy levels go through the roof. Yes, at first you're going to go to the bathroom a little bit more, but over the course of the first 2-3 weeks, your body will adapt to bringing in more water, and you'll find that you may stop going to the bathroom quite as frequently. The other reality may be that you're not going to the bathroom as much as you need to. And so we're going to make sure that the water, and we want to make sure that people realize water can have a profound impact on your health immediately. So that's why we want to focus on our intake of water. Our sleep, your sleep is going to improve your hormone levels, obviously your energy, but one of the things that happens when we don't sleep enough and when we are underslept is your body will produce hunger hormones. We are trying to get the energy back that you did not get from good, proper sleep. And so what your body does is it produces hormones that make you intake energy in the form of food, but may put you over your calorie, the amount of calories that you need for a healthy balance and a healthy body and not storing body fat. And so what we're going to do is focus and see the importance of sleep and how that can affect your total calorie intake. 30 minutes of activity. What we're going to try to do is aim for 30 minutes of activity every day. We've just talked about that, but getting into the habit, even on your off days, of still moving and getting some blood flow can make you feel great. You may find that you recover better with lighter activity. And what we want to make sure is that, especially if it is an off day, that 30 minutes of activity doesn't need to be a 30-minute Metcon. It doesn't need to be a ruck. It doesn't need to be hill sprints or a long run. We want to have your body recover from the times that you're in the gym, but also to help you recognize that there may be some value to going and moving and just having some light activity on your off day. So if you're not able to make it into the gym, that 30 minutes of activity is still going to be important every single day. All right, we talked about our bonus points. No alcohol for the entire week. You're going to get 1 point. And then for the Coyote Fitness class or doing our at-home workout, logging that on SugarWOD and getting the bonus point each and every day except for Sunday. All right, if you flip to the next, our Inbody Scan. This is just a way for you guys to see a little bit more in detail. We've added this year, but for you to see a little bit more in detail of how the Inbody Scan works if you're not familiar with it and why we use that to track your muscle, your body fat, and your body fat percentage. I'm not going to read through this whole thing. You guys can read it, but the one thing I want you guys to see is that if you are not able to go to one of our 3 locations where we do have an Inbody scanner, we would like to encourage you to find an Inbody. It is model number 270. So if you have not done that, we want to encourage you guys to find one in your area. We have one at our Coyote Fitness Flowood, Madison, and Oxford locations. So you guys can do this. You get 2 scans for free, one before the challenge, one after the challenge. So if you are not able to find one or not currently a member of one of our gyms, we encourage you to come in if you're participating in the challenge and do one of those scans before and after. We've included the addresses for each of our gyms on this page right here, so you guys will be able to see that. Plug in the address, stop by anytime, and one of our coaches will help you do the scan. As we flip over to the next page, one of the things that we've added this year is our before and after photo. So we've given you guys a couple examples. I'll even just kind of show you on this page. So we've given you an example of what a good before and after photo looks like. And I've put my email and Coach Sydney in Gluckstadt and Oxford. We've given you both of our emails, so you can send that to whichever coach that you would like to. But basically, I've given you a couple steps for the before photo. I'll just read it here. It should be taken first thing in the morning before eating or drinking and done before starting the challenge. So we want to make sure that that's done before you start. First thing in the morning is going to give you the most accurate view of your body composition, and the picture should be easy to duplicate the next time. So we want to make sure you're doing it in a place, a background with the lighting, and similar to where you're going to be able to do it 6 weeks later and not have to adapt a couple things that makes it hard to see the change that your body has, that's occurred in your body. We're going to be posting these on our social media pages. One of the most impactful things that we've done is help people really wrap their minds around how easily it is to change and how drastic people's bodies can change by paying attention to a couple main key points of their nutrition over the course of 6 weeks. And so what we're going to do is we're going to turn these into testimonials for folks, and we want you to be able to see visibly how much your body's changed. When you see yourself every day, you may not realize exactly how much you've actually changed. The before and after photo, I think, is a great way to do that. So we want you to, you can obviously dress however you feel comfortable with us sharing those on our social media pages and with future clients. The after photo, obviously, it's going to be a duplicate. The lighting and clothes would be the same, ideally. And then again, you can do a front, side, and back photo if you want, or you can just do 2 pictures from the front. And then again, we've added emails in there for myself and Sydney if you would like to send it to us or when you do get ready to send it to us at the end of the challenge. This is required for winning the challenge. So if you want to be considered for winning, then you do need to do this. If you don't care to be considered for winning and you don't want to do this, then that's okay as well. But we would just ask that you do that. I think it would be a good tool. Many, many people have gone through this challenge and wish they would have gone back and found a photo or gone back and had a photo of themselves before. And so we want to encourage you to do that. Let's go ahead and get started now. So as we go to the challenge, the things you're going to do, and you're going to be able to pause this video as we download these things. But what we want to do first is download the Myfitnesspal app and create a profile on there. Okay, the first thing we're going to do is download that app. I'm about to walk you through setting that up. The second thing we're going to do to get started is look at the shopping list and make arrangements to purchase foods that are going to help you stay consistent through the challenge. The third thing is we want to make sure that you set a schedule and try to plan out the next couple weeks with those who are in your circle that will help you to be in bed for 8 hours and 30 minutes. The fourth thing is make a plan to attend class. If you're a member of our gym, go ahead and log into your Zen Planner, set your schedule so that your workouts are consistent. If not, if you're going to be doing these at home, then go ahead and write out the time of the day that you're going to schedule for your workout. The fifth thing we're going to do is log your results. So when you finish the workout, go ahead and log your result in SugarWOD. If anything, just to help build the habit of doing the exercise, logging it. The sixth thing, we have a scorecard, okay? We're going to go through that. It's the last page on your manual here. We want you to print that scorecard out, put it somewhere, put a pen beside it to make it even easier, and have that set up for you for the next 6 weeks to where you're going to be very easily able to keep up with your score and stay consistent over the 6 week. The next thing we want to do is, and we'd ask you guys, I think one thing that a lot of people have, and questions that they have that come up throughout the challenge, we're actually addressing on our social media throughout the challenge. So if you would, go ahead and follow, and I've put the addresses here on Facebook, Instagram, and subscribe to our YouTube channel where you're seeing this video right now. On Instagram and Facebook especially, we will post updates throughout the challenge. We'll make announcements about the challenge, and we'll also provide some tips and things that we've learned through the years of doing this challenge with hundreds and hundreds of people. So you guys follow us on there, and I think it will be really, really helpful for you as you go along the challenge. The final thoughts before we get to setting up your calories is just a reminder of how important it is to have support from those in your social circle and maybe even your family and those you may live with. We've seen great success, and some of our most successful participants have actually done this challenge with another loved one or a spouse. And so what we want to do is just remind you, it may be good as you're getting ready to do this challenge to go and talk to people who you're going to be spending a lot of your time with, who may control a little bit of your environment, who may control some of the food that comes into the house. It may be good to talk about your goals and ask them if they would help you. They don't have to participate in the challenge. That may not be within their goals, but it can be really helpful for you if they're on the same page with what you're trying to do. And so we just want to encourage you to ask for help, if anything, and to help set yourself up for success in your environment as you get ready for the challenge. All right, so we're going to go to Myfitnesspal. Hopefully, if you have not downloaded it, go ahead and pause the video and download the Myfitnesspal app. Once you get this downloaded, I'm going to walk you through each of these steps that's here, and then I'm going to talk through some of the notes and why we have those there. But what you're going to do is you're going to select More on the home page, and then you're going to go to Goals. Okay, when we set your current weight, we're going to hopefully use an Inbody Scan. If you have not, use whichever scale that you're using to set your current body weight. And then we're going to set your goal body weight. And what we want to do is set that within 20 pounds. Okay, so if you know you have a weight loss goal that is greater than 20 pounds, we're going to set a temporary goal of 20 pounds, and then we'll readjust things once you hit that goal. So once you set the goal weight, you're going to choose your activity level. The activity level is actually a big deal in the Myfitnesspal app because the difference between active and lightly active is very significant in the number of calories. And so the best way we know to describe how to set that is if you are doing 3 to 4 workout days per week, and you have a job that is not considered manual labor, we're going to set that as lightly active. If you are in the gym 5 or 6 days a week, no matter what, and you also are a very active person outside of the gym, we're going to select that to active. Okay. Once you select your activity level, that's going to give us a better idea of how to estimate how many calories you are burning in physical activity throughout the day. All right. The next thing you're going to do is go to the menu for calories. It's going to have carbs, protein, fats, etc. You're going to click on that menu, and then the first thing we're going to do is set up your protein. What we want to do is set that protein percentage. If you have the free version, that's great. You're going to select percentages in sets of 5. You're going to try to get the closest to your body weight minus how many pounds of body fat that you have that are excess or that you're planning to lose. So say I weigh 220 pounds, and I know that 200 pounds is where I'm the most healthy. I know I've put on 20 pounds. What I'm going to do is not set my protein number for 220, but I'm going to set it for that body weight that I know is my lean goal that I have. Okay, so we're going to set that to your lean body weight as protein number 1. The next thing you're going to do is once that is set, you're going to need to make 100% total. So we're going to up the carbs and fat however you would like to be able to match the calorie number that you have and that is set for you in the app. We really encourage people who, especially if you have a high intensity exercise routine, we know that all of that exercise is fueled by carbohydrates. And so what we want to do, especially as we're trying to avoid muscle loss, we want to make sure that you probably set your carbohydrate number or percentage slightly over your fat percentage there. The average person is probably going to end up somewhere around 30 or 35% protein, and then 40 or 35% carbs and 25 or 30% fat. Okay. Once you set that percentage equally, you're going to hit the blue check mark to save it. Okay. One of the notes that's important in this is if you ever make a change to your weight, or if you change anything in those settings under goals, your default percentages are going to be set to something that we do not want to eat from. It's what Myfitnesspal sets automatically. It's a drastically low protein number. So we want to make sure that if you do change anything in there in your settings, you're going to want to go back to this page and go through these steps again. Okay, so that's important to know. The other thing is if you've set your goal for weight loss. So one thing that I skipped over here on your weekly goal, number 6 there, completely missed it. You're going to select how many pounds you would like to lose per week. Okay, and the range is 0.5 to 2 pounds. All right, we see healthy weight loss. It's very rare for us to see healthy weight loss while keeping muscle intact and losing greater than 2 pounds per week. Okay, and so what you're going to do is just select what your goal is. If you select 2 pounds per week, just know that's probably going to be a big adjustment for your body. Most people do really, really well to select half a pound or 1 pound per week. But if you have more of an aggressive goal and you are committed to doing this, just know it's probably going to mean that you are going to need to go way, way overboard on the quality of food and make most of your calories come from lean meats and vegetables in order to eat enough to feel like you've got energy. So keep that in mind as you're choosing that weekly goal. You click the blue check mark to save. We want to make sure, number 2 on the notes, that you eat the calories you've set. We are already setting a calorie deficit. You're not going to get extra progress by not eating what we already have set. If anything, it's going to make it very hard for your body to, 1, have energy for exercise, but also to build lean muscle. So number 2 on there, very important. Eat the calories that you have set on here and make sure and eat every single one of them. 3, if you skip tracking even for 1 day or even maybe 1 or 2 meals, especially if they're out to eat, it really throws all of these calculations off. It makes it very challenging for you to know at the end of the week why you may or may not be seeing the results that you have set as your goal. So we encourage you, find a way to track every single meal that you can. Food that you eat out, or if someone else prepares food, or if it's mixed together, a lot of different things, it may be a little bit more work. But most people have found that they can find food that's very similar in their Myfitnesspal app. We want to make sure you turn off tracking for calories for exercise. So we should not subtract any calories for what we have set for exercise. That's already calculated into what we're encouraging you guys to do here. And then the last thing is, if you find that your calories are set and at the end of the day, you see that your macronutrients are still under, maybe it shows that you have 40 grams of protein left for the day, but your calorie goals are already at the number that you have set for the day. That means that something you've chosen in Myfitnesspal has not been inputted accurately. So just go back and change out that food to make sure that the calories match the carbs, fat, protein in whatever it is, that select food item. All right, let's flip over, guys. I'm not going to read through. We're getting to the end of our time here. I'm not going to read through this whole shopping list, but just know we have categorized the shopping list into protein, into some seasonings. Just keep in mind the protein list is lean proteins, and so what we're wanting to do is find leanness. For beef, we say 90% or leaner, but I would encourage you guys to do 93 or 94% beef or leaner. All the other food on here that's listed under our protein is also a lean protein choice. We have shopping lists for seasonings. We have carbohydrates. We've categorized those: vegetables, fruits, and starches. Obviously, we couldn't do a completely all-inclusive not on this list. That's totally fine. If you guys are finding vegetables or fruit that we've not included, then feel free to consider that on the list. The one thing that we do want to make sure, though, our starch list is very very accurate to what we want you guys to eat. So from a starch standpoint, this has listed the foods that we would encourage you to use as your starches. If you go to the shopping list, fats, just remember fats, they're 9 calories per gram. So those are the foods that we want to make sure that you measure as accurately as possible. The effort that you put into measuring all your food, if our fats are not measured accurately, that has the greatest opportunity to throw off your total numbers without you even knowing. So we want you to make sure and measure your fats, but we've also listed the nuts and seeds that we want. And then also the oils. If you're doing that, make sure those are measured extremely, extremely accurately and used very sparingly. You're going to find if you're eating in a little bit of a calorie deficit and you're putting a lot of oils on your food, the trade-off of the amount of calories that come with a tablespoon of food versus coming a full plate maybe of or a handful of nuts and seeds or some sort of vegetable, you're going to get a lot more as far as quantity of food than you would just from the oil to wet your pants. So I would try to find something that's no calories, especially if it's a simple thing that you're just drizzling on food as extra. So keep that in mind. We've got some cooking options there for you. This is the last thing we're going to go over before our scorecard and then before you guys get going with the challenge. This is our do not eat list, okay? The reason why we've put this list together is not because we believe that they're inherently bad foods. We don't believe that they're good foods. We don't believe they're bad foods. They're just foods that either have a more likely to have a negative consequence on your gut health or maybe your hormone health, or they're foods that are extremely easy to overeat and their quality is just very, very low and not helpful to our body. And so what we're going to do is give you guys, for 6 weeks, we want to encourage you to avoid eating these foods, except for the 10% that you have every single day to give some balance into your life. So you're not going to go 6 weeks without having a bite of anything sweet. We just want to make sure that these foods are very much limited to only 10% of your total calories. One example in this, and again, you can read through this list. The main one that we're going to avoid in here that we get the most questions about is dairy and gluten. And the reason we do that is we know that 70%, and this is not a hidden statistic, 70% of adults have some sort of food sensitivity to dairy. And so what you may think that you're living with as normal discomfort actually may be contributing to things you had no idea are lowering your quality of life and how you feel. The same goes for gluten. We don't believe gluten is bad. No, not everyone is gluten intolerant or dairy intolerant. But for 6 weeks, we want to see if maybe one of those foods has an effect on you that you had no idea. And so we're going to take that into consideration in choosing this do not eat list. And we want to ask you to keep those to 10% or less to still get your quality of food point. High fructose corn syrup. Obviously, some of the processed meats and things are going to be on here. Sweetened drinks is one of the big ones. But you guys can read through that list. And if you have questions, please reach out to us. about the do not eat list, but we're just trying to make it easier and easier for you to see that you can eat a lot of food that's high quality and still feel the same types of satiating feelings that you get from some of these snack foods. Last thing, this is our challenge scorecard. So what you're going to do is you're going to print this scorecard out. It's going to give you the total number of points for the week, which is 42, and obviously that's 6 points per day. Okay, you're going to list that and keep up with it. Our total challenge is out of 252 points. We had one perfect score in our last Beachbody challenge, and so we want to encourage you guys to give it your best effort to try and get as many points as possible, because we have seen an undoubtable correlation between the amount of points that you have and the amount of success. So we want to give you guys this. It's got a reminder of how you get your points up at the top of the list. And so you guys keep up with this, print it out, put it somewhere on your fridge or somewhere you're going to see it that's easy to access every single day. And hopefully this is going to be something that's helpful for you in keeping with the challenge as you go through the 6 weeks. You're going to turn this in at the end as well. So we're going to get you to report your total number of points, as well as your Inbody Scan. If you do come in and you do an Inbody Scan, you can bring that to us at the beginning of the challenge and leave it with us. Or if you do one before and you do your after and you want to keep up with those on your own, you can give us both of those at the end. But if at all possible, we would like for you to do your first scan at the beginning of the challenge and leave that at your local gym. If you're doing this with us online and you do a scan, then go ahead and leave that, or you keep up with that. And just remember, take a picture, do something so that you make sure and not lose your before and after for that. The last thing I'll say, because this is online, guys, we are going to have a little bit of, it's going to be a little bit challenging for folks who may be doing the challenge with us who are not able to use a scan. So if that's you, the whole challenge does not hinge just on that scan, but we're going to use the before and after photo as the majority of the way that we measure your body composition change. And so it will be a little bit challenging for us as we go through that. And so keep that in mind. If you can get a scan, go and do that. It'll make it a lot easier for you to see your results over time. Guys, this is our online challenge. We hope this has been helpful. If you have any questions, you guys can reach out to any of us, any of your coaches at your gym, or as you follow us on the website, call us and we'll get back in touch with you. But good luck to you guys. Remember, all this information is on the PDF below this, and we'll start on January 17th. We'll see you guys soon.